11 men have headed this Midwestern university since it began in 1918. Today celebrates the beginning of the next chapter of Ball State's history as Blaine Brownell officially becomes the 12th president to lead the university. This is the presidential inauguration of Blaine A. Brownell. Our broadcast is coming to you live from Emmons Auditorium on the campus of Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Warren Vanderhill, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it is my very great privilege to welcome you here today. I'm pleased that you have come to join us in celebrating a momentous occasion in the history of Ball State University, the inauguration of Dr. Blaine A. Brownell as its 12th president. Mr. Miles Oji, an alumnus of Ball State, will now sing the national anthem. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Miles. Would you please be seated? I am pleased now to present the platform party and would ask that each member stand as he or she is introduced, and would you please hold your applause until all introductions are completed. First, our Board of Trustees. On my right, Nick Utley, Student Trustee, Ceola Digby Berry, Gregory Schenkel, Secretary of the Board, and Thomas L. Deweese, President of the Board. On my left, Kimberly Hood Jacobs, Jeffrey H. Smullian, Richard L. Moak, Hollis E. Hughes, Jr., Assistant Secretary of the Board, and Frank A. Bracken, Vice President of the Board. Next, I'd like to introduce the senior staff of Ball State University. Again, on my right, Thomas J. Kinghorn, Vice President for Business Affairs, Don L. Park, Vice President for University Advancement, Beverly J. Pitts, Associate Provost, and Blaine A. Brownell, University President. On my left are Douglas F. McConkey, Vice President for Student Affairs, Richard C. McKee, Executive Assistant to the President, and Jeffrey M. Linder, Associate Vice President for Governmental Relations. Also on the platform is Steve Bell, Inauguration Honorary Chairperson and Professor of Telecommunications, who is today carrying our university mace. Rebecca Buchan is our signer today. Some other very special members of the platform party will be introduced later as they present greetings this afternoon, but please join me now in greeting the platform party with our applause. May I now present other special guests, some of whom are seated in the audience, and again I would ask them to stand as I call their names. First is Marty Taylor Brownell, the wife of President Brownell. Would you please stand? It's been wonderful to meet on this occasion a large number of family and friends of President and Mrs. Brownell, and although I cannot acknowledge them all individually, I do want to introduce you to our new president's parents, Blaine Brownell Jr. and his wife Annette, as well as the president's children, Allison Brownell Tires and still another Blaine, son Blaine E. Brownell. The elder Brownells are seated on my left toward the front of the auditorium, and the adult children are seated on the stage as they are delegates from their universities. I would ask if these members of the Brownell family would please stand and we can recognize them with our applause. We're also very honored to have in the audience today Congressman David McIntosh and his wife Ruthie, and I'd ask the Congressman and his wife if they would please rise at this time so we can greet them. Congressman McIntosh and Ruthie. We have present at least one other international institutional delegate whose name was received too late for the printing of the program. Representing the country of Nepal is Dr. Prakash Kumar Singh, head of the Department of Architecture at Nepal Engineering College. Dr. Prakash, we welcome you and thank you for coming, as we thank all the delegates who are seated on the risers behind me today. Please let us honor all of these delegates with our applause. In your program, you'll find a listing of the former presidents of Ball State University. We are very honored today that 3 of them are in attendance. Please welcome John J. Pruce, Richard W. Burkhart, and John E. Worthen, and let us honor them with our applause. At this time, it is my very great privilege to introduce persons who are bringing greetings to Ball State University and its new president. First is the Honorable Frank O'Bannon, Governor of the State of Indiana. Accompanying him to our campus is his wife, Judy O'Bannon. And Mrs. O'Bannon, would you please rise so we may recognize you and honor you with our applause. Governor O'Bannon, would you please come to the podium?
Thank you. Thank you, and it certainly is an honor to be here with all of you today to celebrate Blaine Brownell's return to Indiana and his inauguration as the 12th president of Ball State University. Education is our top priority, from early childhood development through the many higher education options available. We are committed to providing Indiana students with the best education available. We have seen important improvements in education and higher education in Indiana during the last few years. While we are making strides to improve education, we know there's much more that remains to be done. And the installation of a new president gives Ball State, Muncie, and the entire Indiana higher education community an opportunity to come together to reflect on the success of the past and celebrate the challenges of the future. President Brownell, we are recognizing today the great heritage of this institution. The campus has served as a site for higher education for more than 100 years, and Ball State now has more than 100,000 living alumni. We're also celebrating the challenges and possibilities of the future. Education is at the heart of every issue that's important to this state. Here and at campuses throughout the state, we are developing the teachers and the scientists and the journalists and the architects and the business leaders of tomorrow. Our strength for tomorrow depends on the training we do today. So it is this successful heritage and challenging future that we are now passing on to you, President Brownell. We are confident that you will provide the strong leadership that this university and the higher education throughout Indiana needs. So on behalf of the state of Indiana, I want to congratulate you on your inauguration as president and certainly wish you the best in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor O'Bannon. Next is Mr. Stanley G. Jones, Commissioner of the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. Mr. Jones.
Thank you. We have seen Ball State from its beginnings as a teacher training institute grow and prosper over these many years and have outstanding programs in a number of areas that are unparalleled in the country. And it's that same excellence and dedication to teaching that we're so proud of in the state of Indiana. We also have in the last year, we have 3 new presidents out of the 7 public universities, and yet there'll be another one within a year. So we're seeing a huge transition. As you might know, some presidents stay 10, 15, even 20 years. So this is really unprecedented that we're going to have this huge transition in presidential leadership. And we're so very proud that Ball State chose so wisely. We want to commend the Board of Trustees and the faculty and the students because you have been one of the leaders in the state and you've had presidents that have been leaders in the state. And we think once again you've chosen wisely and we're very happy to participate in the celebration of President Brownell, and we will continue to support Ball State in all of your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I now welcome to the podium the Honorable Daniel C. Cannon, Mayor of the City of Muncie.
Thank you very much. It is obviously an honor to be here for the inauguration of your new president. The City of Muncie and Ball State University have a long and rich history, extending well over 100 years. Throughout these years, as Ball State has grown from normal institution to a teacher's college to the outstanding university that we all treasure today, Muncie has grown with it. Beyond the economic impact of this great university, Muncie benefits from the involvement of Ball State's administration, faculty, and student body in making Muncie the community it is today. Muncie is Ball State, and if Ball State has a concern, it is Muncie's concern. During my term as mayor of this great city, I have enjoyed the relationships that I have developed at Ball State University. I am looking forward to your leadership, President Brownell, and I pledge my total commitment to you and your administration for the future. President Brownell, today is your day. Enjoy it. You will make Muncie an even better community through your vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Cannon. As many of you know, Ball State is an active participant in international exchange programs and field studies for both faculty and students. Speaking on behalf of our international colleagues is Dr. Sungun Kim, President of Yungnam University, the Republic of Korea. Of its international sister institutions, Ball State has its longest continuous relationship with Yungnam. President Kim will speak in Korean, and I shall translate into English following his remarks. President Kim.
볼 주립대학의 12번째 총장으로 임명된 브레인 브라운웰 교수의 취임식에 참가하게 된 것을 무한한 영광으로 생각을 합니다. 극동아시아 지역, 특별히 중국 상하이 사범대학 총장님, 일본 도쿄 가쿠게이 대학 총장님, 그리고 한국 영남대학교로부터 특별히 이번 총장님을 환영하는 동시에 특별한 우정과 희망의 메시지를 전하는 바입니다. 이제까지 볼 주립대학과 영남대학과는 32년 동안 교류가 있었습니다. 본인이 영남대학교 교수로 재임할 때 한 학기를 교환교수의 자격으로 볼 주립대학에 머물렀기 때문에 저는 볼 주립대학을 너무도 잘 알고 있습니다. 신임 총장님께서는 이 좋은 학교에서 학생들과 교수진 그리고 스태프진에게 많은 공헌을 할 것은 물론이고 재임 기간을 알차게 보내실 것이라 믿습니다. 저 또한 몇 해 동안 영남대학의 총장으로 재임하고 있기 때문에 총장직에서 오는 재반 문제들을 너무나 잘 알고 있습니다. 볼 주립대학 총장으로서 많은 노력을 기울이시기를 바랍니다. 한 번 더 여러분께 감사를 드리고 신의 축복이 총장님과 가족들 그리고 보울주립대학에 함께하기를 바라면서 이만 인사를 대신합니다. Thank you so much.
감사합니다. President Kim said, "It is a great honor and pleasure to participate in the inauguration of Dr. Blaine Brownell as the 12th president of Ball State University. On behalf of the Shanghai Teachers University President's Delegation of China, Tokyo Gakugai University President's Delegation of Japan, and Yungnam University of Korea, I bring special messages of friendship and best wishes to Dr. Brownell. Our friendship between Ball State University and Yungnam University is 32 years old. When I was a professor at Yungnam, I spent a semester at Ball State University as a visiting scholar, so I know Ball State University quite well. It is a wonderful university where you will enjoy your presidency. During your tenure here, I'm sure you will bring significant contributions to the students, faculty, and staff. Having been president of Yungnam University for several years, I'm keenly aware of the problems and headaches which come along with the presidency. But I'm most aware of the rich rewards that this honored position can bestow. We wish you the best in your endeavors as president of Ball State University. Thank you, and God bless you, your family, and Ball State. Thank you very much, President Kim. Dr. James H. Woodward is Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. He is a personal friend of President Brownell, and we welcome here to speak on behalf of all the delegates from other colleges and universities.
Thank you. President Brownell, what a great sound. I bring you greetings and congratulations from your colleagues in higher education from throughout the U.S. We in North Carolina know Blaine well. He received his master's and doctorate there, and he continues to have many friends and professional colleagues residing in the state, and I am certainly pleased to be among those. But our friendship goes back many years. I first met Blaine and Marty when they came to the University of Alabama in Birmingham nearly 30 years ago now. Blaine served as chair of urban studies. He served as dean of the graduate school, dean of the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Then I left, but our friendship continued. He went to the University of North Texas, where he served with great distinction. Like you at Ball State University, we in higher education elsewhere are looking ahead to great challenges and great opportunities. Both the challenges and opportunities derive from a number of causes, such as growth in the demand for education, growth in the importance of education, growth in the use of technology in all we do, growth in the international character of our education, growth in the diversity of the country, growth in the competition for resources, especially public funding. Now, in your bringing Blaine to Ball State, you have brought a man who will guide and embrace the changes that must result from those challenges. But you've also brought a man who is deeply committed to the core values of the Academy, core values that are the true strength of the great higher education system that has evolved in our country. So students, faculty, staff, trustees, friends, and other supporters of Ball State, under Blaine's leadership, look for change. But look for change around a core set of values that will remain unchanged. Now, in bringing Blaine to the presidency of this institution, you also brought his partner, his best friend, his wife, Marty Brownell. Now, Marty will likewise serve this institution with great distinction, but I assure you she will do it with much more grace, much more warmth, and much more graciousness than the president. I congratulate the Ball State community for inviting both of them to become a part of this wonderful university. Marty and Blaine, dear friends, Martha and I wish you Godspeed.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Woodward. Speaking on behalf of the Ball State faculty and professional personnel is Nancy B. Carlson, Ball State University's Senate Chairperson, Fellow in the Virginia B. Ball Center for Creative Inquiry, and Associate Professor of Telecommunications. Professor Carlson.
As I welcome our new president, Blaine Brownell, I speak on behalf of the 840 faculty members and 550 professional personnel represented by the university's Senate system. Last fall, before the presidential job description was written, the Senate held a forum to discuss desired characteristics of a new president. Of course, the president should be a visionary, a fundraiser, a lobbyist, and a leader. But the most desired characteristic for Ball State's new president, from the view of the faculty at least, was that the president be an experienced classroom teacher, a scholar, one who'd walked in our shoes, had chalk dust on his sleeves, and had students front and center on the mind. I learned in the search committee process that Blaine Brownell is a well-known urban historian. He came up through the ranks from classroom teacher to president. He's a gifted educator and taught as recently as 2 days ago. In Blaine Brownell, the University Senate got all they wished for, and Marty too. Welcome to both Brownells.
Thank you, Professor Carlson. Speaking for the Ball State staff is Mrs. Mary E. Hess, President of the Ball State University Staff Council and Office Coordinator in Educational Licenses in our Teachers College. Mrs. Hess.
President Brownell. As President of Staff Council, I bring you greetings from the 795 staff members of Ball State University. It is our role as staff members to support, facilitate, and maintain the smooth operation of the university. 3 things we feel we have in common with the President of the university. We hope your transition into the office of President has been and will continue to be a smooth and enjoyable one.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Hess. Undergraduate Senior Anthony T. Head, Vice President of the Ball State University Student Government Association, will be speaking on behalf of the students. Mr. Head.
It is said that the caliber of one's leadership is tested during times of difficulty and stress. For those of you who don't know, President Brownell has already encountered such times during his brief tenure. During the first week of fall semester, he weathered rain and humidity to help freshmen move into the residence halls. During opening week activities, he and his senior staff braved hordes of students who were clamoring for the free ice cream that they served for hours. He even held his composure when students tore down not one, but both goalposts after homecoming. Surely there would be tougher battles to fight, obstacles to overcome, and harder decisions made. But hey, so far, so good. In an effort to form relationships with students, he's broken bread with us in our residence halls and listened with genuine interest to our concerns. It's too early to tell if we'll get a building named after his honor, but perhaps dining services could use his name for an entree. As Vice President of the Student Government Association, part of my job is to voice student opinion to the university administration. Today, it is my honor to share with you the student sentiment about our new university president. When people ask me, what is your impression of President Brownell. I believe my impression echoes that of my peers, and my reply is simple. I'm impressed. In closing, here's a bit of advice for you, President Brownell. The students have taken a keen interest in the activities in the administration building, although now you may walk with reporters, alumni, and legislators. Never, ever lose the student touch. On behalf of my peers, I welcome you and your family to Ball State University.
We'll be looking forward to the name of that entree. Thank you very much, Anthony. Anthony L. Schneider, class of 1980 and president of the Ball State University Alumni Association, will now bring greetings from our many alumni around the world. Mr. Schneider.
For the past 25 years, Ball State has been an integral part of my life. My riches from this university are many, but the reward that I treasure most is the fact that I had the privilege to know our dear friend Ed Ball. My discussions with Mr. Ball were limited, yet these brief encounters granted me clear evidence of the qualities of the Ball family. Through Ed, my appreciation of the legacy of leadership for which this university was chartered was deeply solidified. Ball State University is a union of great leaders, inspiring to create other great leaders. This institution was founded by noble leaders, has prospered as accomplished leaders believed in its cause, and will excel for years to come because the deserving will take it to new heights. Dr. Brownell, you are most deserving. In just a few short months, you have earned my complete admiration and respect. Your intellect is inspiring. I applaud your commitment to excellence. You treasure the past, and you listen intently. You challenge those around you to perform, and I value the way you balance patience with the need to move hastily. Our faculty and students will be the benefactors of your vision and your execution. I heard Dr. Worthen a few years ago say that Ball State is an emerging university. I thought about that for a moment. I said, hasn't it always been emerging, and won't it always be? And I think that is true, but yet I soon realized that the intensity of this emergence at this point in our lives is at a historic level. Dr. Brownell, your preparation has been impeccable, for your timing is perfect. You have picked the ideal time to be our president, and our university has picked the ideal president to be its leader. On behalf of the nearly 110,000 proud living alumni of Ball State University, I welcome you, Dr. Brownell and Marty, to the Ball State family. I encourage you to challenge our alumni, for together we can enhance Ball State's standing as a leader in the world of higher education. I know you as a highly regarded historian. You have probably heard the words of Montaigne, who said in the 16th century passage he wrote, "The only good histories are those that have been written by the persons themselves who commanded in the affairs of which they write." Ball State is an emerging university, and the history you are directing will be most deserving of your pen. Mr. President, take a few notes along the way.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Please now enjoy a musical interlude by the Ball State University Wind Ensemble.
Thanks to the Ball State University Wind Ensemble, Dr. Joseph Scagnoli conducting, and to the fanfare trumpets, Christian Zimbauer conducting for their music this afternoon. They have demonstrated why Ball State has a reputation for having an outstanding School of Music. I'm Tom DeWeese, President of the Board of Trustees. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it gives me great pleasure to officially declare Dr. Blaine A. Brownell the 12th President of Ball State University. Dr. Brownell, would you please join me? In the short period Dr. Brownell has been in office, he has demonstrated over and over why the search committee recommended him and why the Board of Trustees hired him to lead Ball State. He and Marty have readily adapted to life in Muncie and back in Indiana. Blaine has assumed a leadership role and established a very important strategic planning task force to help us determine our direction for the 21st century. Blaine Brownell came to us well equipped for this job. I won't go into all of his credentials and background since much of it is printed in your inaugural program. I would just summarize by saying that he has held almost every university administrative post. Beginning at Purdue as a faculty member, he then moved to the University of Alabama, Birmingham, North Texas State, and the University of Memphis. In these universities, he held posts as department chair, director of the graduate school, director of the Center for International Programs, dean of the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, provost and vice president for academic affairs, and now president. In addition, he is the author of 7 books and hundreds of articles and papers. Dr. Brownell has demonstrated his administrative expertise and his commitment to research and scholarship. Finally, he has also demonstrated his commitment to public service and community. I would just mention that in this busy week where each of our colleges held a significant program, not only did Blaine Brownell deliver the lecture for the College of Architecture and Planning, one of his home departments, he also did public service and volunteered at Longfellow Elementary School. This was not just a cameo appearance where he read to kindergarten pupils, although he did that. He also made a public statement on the importance of the links between Ball State and the public schools, the importance of reading, and the significance of quality education beginning with the very youngest children. One of his directives to the inaugural committee was that he wanted the university to focus not on him, but on Ball State. He saw the inaugural week as an opportunity to call attention to the significant and outstanding educational opportunities Ball State provides. We are honored to have such a man as our president, a true scholar and a gentleman. Blaine A. Brownell, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this university and to declare officially that you are the 12th president of Ball State University. Congratulations. I would now ask Mr. Frank Bracken, Vice President of the Board of Trustees, to join me as we invest Dr. Brownell with the medallion of his office.
Governor O'Bannon, Representative McIntosh, Commissioner Jones, Mayor Cannon, members of the Board of Trustees, honorable delegates from the United States and abroad, members of the faculty and student body, members of the inaugural committee who have worked so hard to make this a successful and memorable week and occasion, special guests, and other members of the Ball State University and Muncie and Delaware County communities. It is a privilege and an honor to stand before you today as the 12th president of this university. I also wish to formally recognize my fellow presidents and chancellors in Indiana who could be here today with us, as well as my three predecessors who helped shape a university that it is my honor to lead now. Especially after the inconclusive outcome of our national elections, I am really pleased to make it to my inaugural. And having made it, I also know that I will not make a very good president if I believe everything that has been said about me today. This is a great day for Ball State University, but for me, it is a major exercise in humility. Now, you may wonder how in the world all this could possibly engender humility. Since I did everything but ride in here on the back of an elephant like some hereditary potentate. After the unveiling of the portrait last evening, the eloquent greetings, and this grand ceremony today, one is quite tempted to take it personally. But all this is about the presidency, not the president. And I know now, more than any other time in my life, how much this recognition extends from good fortune and circumstance rather than from destiny, and how very much I have depended on the support and friendship and love of others to make even the slightest progress toward this wonderful day. I want to recognize just a few of these people now. First, my family. My wife, Marty, is my best friend, my most constructive critic, and my life partner, as well as a wonderfully talented and loving person who brings grace and compassion to everything she does. Without her, I wouldn't be here. Our two children are and will always be our greatest contributions to this world, and they have proceeded on their own with minimal parental guidance to marry two wonderful people and to begin giving us remarkable grandchildren. They are also here as official delegates, as you know already, Allison representing their undergraduate institution, Princeton University, and Blaine his graduate institution, Rice University. I had to get that in because we paid for it. I think we're still paying for it. As for my parents, the publicity connected with my appointment often mentioned my father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, with whose examples and genes I have been truly blessed. But one letter to the Muncie Star-Press asked, quite simply, didn't he have a mother? Boy, do I have a mother. And she is here today with my father. There are books, essays, movies about what makes the Southern lady special. You can save yourself a lot of time. Just go talk to my mother for about 5 minutes and you'll know what a Southern lady is, because they don't get any better. I know she's very proud today, but later on, this evening or maybe tomorrow, she'll admonish me not to get too big for my britches. I am trying, Mama, but they are not making it easy. So many other people have taught me, mentored me, and guided me, and I am thankful to all of them. Some are here today, including 2 of my former administrative assistants and several current and former deans and faculty members with whom I have worked closely at the University of North Texas. By the way, for the Texans, I make no apology for the weather. It makes Hoosiers strong. Just think of this as a norther that blows in and just stays for 4 or 5 months. I have also had the privilege to work for some very special people who exhibited enormous patience in allowing me to develop as an academic and an administrator, and who had faith in my abilities and gave me the opportunity and confidence to try and fail and succeed and grow. Certainly no one taught me more than Jim Woodward, and it is an enormous pleasure for me to have him here, my fellow Alabaman, whose lessons and example in academic administration I try to follow every day. So whether all these people wish to claim me or not, I eagerly acknowledge their role for whatever capabilities I bring to this new responsibility. Now, this inaugural is the celebration of an institution's past and future and the affection in which it is held by its friends and alumni, the support it receives from the state of Indiana, and the commitment demonstrated on a daily basis by faculty, staff, and students. So today I bask in the glow of this great university. I have been enormously impressed by the university's accomplishments and even more by its future prospects. Though this statement has the ring of the obligatory mantra, I truly believe that we have the opportunity to take this university forward in a dramatic way so that we can realize all of its potential and leave for our successors an institution that is even better and stronger. We have launched a new comprehensive strategic planning process, and the task force has been hard at work since September. As the new semester begins, everyone will have an opportunity to review and comment on a preliminary version of the plan, and by April I hope to have in hand the final recommendations, including a new mission statement, a limited number of general goals, and specific and measurable objectives. I don't want to predict now what those goals and objectives will be, but I do want to share with you some of my general thoughts at the outset of what I hope will be a long association with Ball State University. The path this university has taken thus far is compelling, but it also has many risks. We have set out to be a moderately selective, medium-sized public university offering high-quality education to prepared undergraduates and to advanced students in selected master's and doctoral programs in a technology-rich residential campus environment that provides contact with and awareness of students and faculty members from different ethnic and cultural backgrounds and different life experiences. Ideally, our community will be close and nurturing, but at the same time dynamic, innovative, and very much a part and a conscious part of a multicultural global society. It will also be a center for scholarship and a continuing resource for the economic and cultural development of our city, state, and region. This is a pretty tall order, combining as it does the highest principles of traditional liberal arts and professional education with the most significant new intellectual opportunities of our age. We certainly won't be successful without both high ambitions and hard work, but we must also be realistic about the challenges we face. For one thing, we are going against some powerful demographic trends. The population in Indiana is not expected to grow, and it is not now growing very fast. And the most dynamic segment of higher education in Indiana and elsewhere consists of non-traditional students, older and working part-time or full-time, and those who rely increasingly on just-in-time, on-the-job, any-place education through technology. At a time when many small liberal arts colleges are struggling for survival and new for-profit educational institutions are offering attractive alternatives, the competition for traditional residential students will be intensely competitive in a shrinking market. We must also pursue our goals with limited state resources that are rising modestly at best at a time when our peer institutions are consistently outpacing us. We owe a great deal to the state of Indiana for its appreciation for and long-standing support of higher education, but this support is not likely to be adequate to take us where we need to go. The best justification for our current direction is that we have a passion for it. It is something we both believe in and do well. We are committed to a holistic educational environment that fully develops individuals, that shapes future leaders rather than training technicians or skilled workers. There are many educational needs and approaches, of course, and they all have their value in their world that demands constantly updated skills and knowledge. but preparing leaders who can see the connections, envision the future, and guide their own continuing education is an especially high calling, and I can think of no more important or appropriate particular way in which this university can serve the people of Indiana. I see our greatest challenge as a need to develop special synergies that fully exploit our advantages and our capabilities, and yes, our passion. We have much to offer in the areas of instructional technology, in the expansion of our international and multicultural efforts, and in our commitment to diversity, community service, and student learning. Our core curriculum and our infusion of technology throughout our academic programs are regarded as models for other institutions. We are attracting better prepared students, increasing our retention and graduation rates, and generating more support from gifts, grants, and contracts. How can we ensure that all of these elements interact seamlessly to create a whole greater than the parts and define even more clearly a Ball State University education? This is surely the basic context within which we will implement our strategic plan and shape the destiny of our university. We simply want to do what we do as well or better than anyone else, and we want everybody to know about it. Our success will be especially dependent on the success and experience of our students. They are, after all, the ultimate measure of our achievement. Ball State must be a student-centered institution in every sense of the word, and student learning must be at the core of our academic enterprise. There is some reason for urgency, I believe, in how we respond to the challenges I've outlined. It's very difficult to move forward without a robust economy, and we can't count on that forever. The pace of change and the expectations of our constituencies are growing almost exponentially. This institution is still defining itself in significant ways and is already in the process of reaching a new and more important dimension. And we have the momentum. To achieve appropriate recognition for our efforts, we must redouble them. Ball State University is becoming a unique asset to Indiana, with a role not filled by any other institution in the state, and we must make that clear through documented success in reaching our goals. I look forward to these challenges and to working alongside colleagues here and elsewhere to help our state and our nation prosper in an increasingly interdependent world economy and society. The 21st century is here, and so are we, and let's make the best of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Brownell. Mr. Oji will now return to the podium to lead us in the singing of the alma mater. The audience will then please be seated for the recessional, which will include the platform party, all delegates, faculty, student, departmental representatives, and professional personnel. Immediately following this ceremony, you are cordially invited to a reception in the Williams Lounge in the lower lobby of this auditorium, and I would call your attention to our Department of Arts faculty and student show that is on exhibit in that area. I thank you very, very much for your presence here today. Please stand for the alma mater, Mr. Miles Oji.
Dear alma mater, hear our vow of faith and trust in thee. Thy spirit hovers near us now and through eternity.